Excuse me, I'm a reporter. I'm not a cop.
We're going to 90th Street and the East River. There's a museum there, and I believe that it's on fire.
Mick Jagger and Jerry Hall had a full open-mouth kiss in front of the cameras.
We cover news through people and personalities more than through abstract issues.
Rob, come a little more forward with your face. Thank you. Excellent.
What did they tell you? Did they say, okay,
The bottom line of it is that we're here to sell newspapers. There's nothing wrong with that. It's the American way.
At midnight each night, in a cinder block building off the docks of New York's East Side, the presses roll. By 3 a.m., the Bulldog edition, the day's first paper, is on trucks and on its way to the outer boroughs. Distributed to 1.5 million readers each day, the New York Post is one of the most widely read tabloids in America. The New York Post is a classic tabloid, brash, outspoken, controversial. This feisty survivor in New York's rough and tumble world of newspapering has made its share of headlines, thanks to owner Rupert Murdoch, the conservative media mogul who owns the Fox network and an array of entertainment, news, and publishing businesses.
Hola, ¿qué pasa?
She says it's in recovery. That's why I'm calling you rather than fishing around on my own.
They're bringing me pictures of him standing outside the building. I'm looking for like a dashing, something out of Titanic with his shirt off or something.
What did the mayor say? Anything?
While everyone's seen the Post, few have seen what goes into making it.
I think this gets to be too much here when you get to these royals. Too many celebrity-oriented pictures.
The latest reading I'm getting is that we're gonna do it as a Sunday thing.
Get President, get Timmy Dad, get Borelli, get all the anecdotes.
Frankie talked to the mayor briefly, but the whole contingent's on the way here now, so you'll need to get to the plaza early.
Say New York Post, and people think screaming headlines.
People are so crazy in this city. People are so nuts getting to work and hearing noises in the subway and the cars and honking, and everyone's attention span is like zip. So in order to get attention, you know, you really have to be able to be eye-catching, and that's what the Post does. The headline sort of takes you by the lapel and grabs you in and says, read me, read me, read me. And you do.
If you look up there, we had the new improved makeover of Monica Lewinsky.
When we found out Di's driver was boozing it up at some gin mill, that was a big story.
We ran with that for a long time.
It's 10 a.m., and the editors gather to plan the day's coverage.
Another lawyer has attacked Woodward, Bob Woodward.
Oh, right. Orin is doing that. You know, I forgot that.
Okay. Are we going to do anything on that today?
Well,
Deputy editor Jana Antunes runs the meeting.
I want to know, can the Knicks do it again?
Of course.
Absolutely.
It's summer. The New York Knicks have a make-or-break game that could keep them in the playoffs. And First Lady Hillary Clinton is in town, gearing up to run for the Senate.
For Knicks, we're talking about for first edition, and then we're going to end up losing something, probably.
The Post loves the New York Knicks.
The game you don't see, the television side of it.
And we're on the way to the salon where the Knicks' girlfriends and wives have their hair done, hopefully not at the same time.
The Post loves to hate Hillary.
The Catholic League attacked Hillary because she apparently takes a fortune, as does her husband, from the Weinstein brothers.
Well, I think there's a story in this, isn't there?
Once a staunch liberal paper, the Post under Rupert Murdoch echoes his conservative politics.
Andy Geller's making a couple of phone calls.
He's doing calls up there, and you want me to make calls down there?
Yeah, see what you can find out. I think it's the house, but I don't know that for sure. Our tipster was not clear on that aspect of it, or was not saying.
You know, I actually have somebody I could call. Yeah, it's Deborah Orin at the New York Post. Is Howard in, or does he have a new number? Hello? Yeah, we just got a tip that Mrs. Clinton closed on a house yesterday, and it sounds like it could be the house that the house we wrote about the other day. We're a tabloid, and that means we cover news through people and personalities more than through abstract issues, and we try to focus on the kinds of things that people are talking about. Well, the tipster identified the location of where she'd closed on a house. It's a quirky mix. It's very sophisticated politics, very sophisticated business coverage, a fair amount of gossip, which, of course, everybody and his brother reads, even though they pretend they don't. Yeah, it's Deborah Orin at the New York Post, 212-930-8500, and no, I'm still not going through anybody's garbage, but we think of ourselves as writing very specifically for New Yorkers about issues that matter to New Yorkers.
It's 11 a.m., And the President and First Lady's motorcade is holding up traffic in Midtown Manhattan. And on the street, a Post reporter gets opinions on the Clintons.
We're asking people, what do you think of Bill and Hillary running for Senate in different states?
Oh, Hillary, she gonna do all right. She gonna.
Think so?
I have faith in her. You know why? Because she a lady, and I'm down with lady power. You know, girl power.
That's true. I think they're both crooks, and I didn't vote for them either time.
What do you think of Bill and Hillary both running for Senate from different states? Because Bill's going to run in Arkansas. Maybe. And Hillary's going to run in New York. Maybe. So.
I think that's a great idea. I'm for Hillary.
Well, if they want to run, they should run elsewhere. I really.
Not New York.
Not New York.
But hardball isn't limited to politics. The gossip column, page 6, has a ferocious team of writers who fill it with a shocking amount of bite.
Isn't it great?
That's great.
And she's vowed to see them in court.
I take better care of my animals than you do of your children. Yeah, I think that makes a good lead.
Okay, that's it.
Richard Johnson lords over page 6. He knows that a good fight sells papers, and he never loses.
We did a story about Alec Baldwin's mother, as a photographer named James Edstrom, claims that he was promised a photograph of all 4 Baldwin brothers. The headline was perhaps harsh. Alec Baldwin went on Rosie O'Donnell and attacked the Post as the worst newspaper in the history of journalism.
Baldwin claimed you could find more legitimate news in a bazooka comic than in the New York Post.
He's declared war now, and we publish 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, and we intend to have many follow-up stories on just how badly his career is going, how fat he has become, and we're going to call him, as we did the other day, the former movie star. The hairy-chested husband of Kim Basinger might be cranky because he can't fit into his swim trunks. Maybe he's depressed with his career's southbound trajectory.
In addition to page 6, the Post has 3 columnists who work full-time on the gossip beat. Among the best known, Cindy Adams.
When you get up in the morning and your husband has some dried egg on his shirt from the night before, and he wasn't particularly a great lover, or he's not interesting, you want to hope that Kevin Costner's wife is not happy with him either, because it makes your life seem better. Yes. Where have you been?
From her home office penthouse on Park Avenue, Adams works the phones, shifts for nuggets, and writes her daily column.
The only way you can really write a column is if you have access. That's the name of the game. Look, over there, you know, it's a picture of Hillary and me, and over there are pictures of me with the Clintons and with the Reagans and with the Bushes. What you do is 70-30. 70, you're nice to them, 30, you beat them up. So that's the way you can skitter through life.
The gossip game is competitive and personal. Even among Post writers, a scoop is still a scoop. Back at page 6, Richard Johnson thinks he has one.
Patrick Ewing has impregnated that Nick City dancer. We broke the story last year that he was having an affair with one of the Nick City dancers. Now we hear that the Nick City dancer is pregnant. I don't know whether it's true. This is, I guess, one shot he did miss. Rumors that can't be substantiated we can deal with. Locate the woman and determine whether she is with child.
So sports is doing the ref thing.
And at the other end of the newsroom, the afternoon story planning meeting takes place.
Thinking of the morning meeting, I mean, absent any real news, we need a Nick's Wood for tomorrow's paper.
The Wood is what the staff calls the front page headline. At the Post, it's what sells papers.
Possible outrage over the ref's call.
What's Sockwell doing on the wives thing?
We were hoping to get some of them at the beauty parlor today. There's a story in City Sun. Willie got a couple of the wives yesterday. He tried to reach more of them today.
Last night, around 12 o'clock midnight our time, Mick Jagger and Jerry Hall apparently had a full open-mouthed kiss in front of the cameras. And so it's leading all sorts of speculation. Is this the kiss that Jagger's going to try to get his $20 million back with it, something like that, press association.
Well, that's
and
real
there
good.
is a photo, it was done publicly, so we do have, there are photos supposedly available, so.
Oh, great.
So I'll tell photos and we'll get on that.
Maybe it wouldn't make the New York Times, but longtime Post loyalists defend the paper and its take on the world.
The tabloid revolution that the Post invented back in the 70s, personalized stories. And we've gone beyond that. We personalized the business section. We personalized the sports section. That gives something that people can relate to. we like to act as a gadfly and attack people who need attacking. I think that in the best tradition of American newspapers, that's what we do.
Jeannie,
yeah.
you get a chance, will you call Celeb and get whoever the hell Alanis Morissette's contract?
It's Jeannie at page 6. Can I get a flag for Alanis Morissette, please? Eternally angry Alanis Morissette.
I once called the staff here the crash test dummies of American journalism, because we take the risks, we take the chances, we have the passion, we go into the dangerous areas.
This is a great story. Did you see this? Jean Kirkpatrick left her dog in her car and rolled up the windows and went shopping. It didn't die.
Oh, that's
But
so great.
look, it was right next to a sign for pets die in hot cars. And
She's
so
such a bitch. It's
a
outrageous.
pickup. She's a how
unbelievable.
stupid. But her press person
Doesn't
goes,
she write for us?
no.
Oh.
No.
She used to,
She
didn't
used
she?
to, but
Yeah.
she doesn't anymore. And that's what happens when you leave the fold. You're no longer protected.
It's just past 5. Deadline is 5:30 for the cover. Managing editor Stu Marques oversees the daily meeting that chooses the wood for the front page, that makes the paper famous, and 1.5 million New Yorkers will wake up to.
You don't just try and squeeze the Knicks again. It's a lost cause.
No, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Look at that. I'm telling you, and tomorrow night at 7:30 tomorrow night, you send 5,000 papers in and give them away to people. 9 o'clock tomorrow night, 9:15, the Garden will be rocking.
No, it works well.
It's like the perfect photo.
And this is the day to do this front page as well.
Charlie Ward seeks divine guidance or divine intervention.
What does it say?
Divine intervention?
Make that flush right.
It's past midnight when the paper is put to bed. A presidential motorcade, a priest arrested for smuggling, a homeless man shot by a cop, and a high-rise fire. But when the sun comes up, New Yorkers will be greeted with 72-point type that is pure New York Post as the city prays for a Knicks victory.
We're one of the last places in the United States where in the morning the papers are all together side by side and a lot of people come up to them and make their decision which paper they're going to buy by the front page. The bottom line of it is that we're here to sell newspapers. There's nothing wrong with that. It's the American way.
The New York Post's character is hard to peg. Some days it's a punk kid. At other moments, a grumpy old man who simply holds a grudge. But as longtime readers know, the Post has a long history and a long memory. Just over 20 years ago, the infamous Son of Sam murders had New York living in terror. Tonight, it's 102 degrees and brutally humid. The heat wave of 1977 has returned, and Spike Lee's new film Summer of Sam is being screened for critics and the press.
1977 was the year that New York City had a massive nervous breakdown. I mean, it was unrelenting, and believe me, there was no such thing as a crazy tip.
One of the Post's more outrageous characters, Steve Dunleavy, has been a Murdoch employee for 4 decades, starting in Australia. He wrote for the Post, then went on to TV for Fox's A Current Affair, and now he's back at the Post.
Let's question this and add 3 or 4 inches to what is known.
Wanted some context in the story.
Well, have you ever heard of a cop who became a cop after they were convicted in your life?
I wanted to make sure she hadn't been thrown off for an earlier conviction.
No one. You can't even assume that.
Legend has it that as a young newspaperman competing with his father, a newspaper photographer, for a juicy story, Dunleavy slashed the tires on his father's car. Today, Dunleavy has pointed his firebrand of journalism at Spike Lee's new movie.
In the case of Spike Lee, I'm quite prepared to believe that he's a marvelous filmmaker. But in Spike Lee's world of Italian Americans, all you see is cross-dressers, homosexuals, drug pushers, mafiosa, even bisexual orgies. I mean, it was just an absolute sham.
But the Post's war against Spike has its price. And the paper's been shut out of all but the most mundane coverage of the summer's movie.
So John Leguizamo gets into the Daily News. We've been trying to get John Leguizamo and Adrian Brody from Disney for Summer of Sam for at least a week, maybe longer, but haven't heard back from them. And surprise, John Leguizamo turns up in the Daily News. Spike Lee hates the New York Post. I guarantee you he ordered them not to let his actors talk to us, but c'est la vie.
The Post finds a way to build a story around the film anyway, and uses the Son of Sam story as an opportunity to turn back the clock and dig through the archives.
This is a box of the negatives from the month of August and late July from 1977. We are doing a 4-page spread on the Son of Sam murders, which is keyed into Spike Lee's upcoming film Summer of Sam. Pictures of evidence, things that were taken out of his house. It was such a huge story that there was an entire little wing devoted just to this stuff.
This was one of the greatest headlines of all time when the Son of Sam was caught. I mean, look at that face. That's tabloid journalism at its best, caught in red letters.
This is an excerpt from a letter that he wrote. This is a copy of his handwriting. This is one of his drawings. This is some of the stuff from inside his apartment, stuff that was written on the wall. One of the reasons that I wanted to come here was to play with the crime pictures. It's always been my obsession. I mean, just the whole culture of the crime scene is just I just love it.
As photo editor Gretchen Wieman digs into the paper's pictorial history, she understands the Post has changed.
We're not the same paper that we were, in 1977. We're not as crime focused. I'm still seeing it all come in, but it doesn't make the paper.
Back then, reporters got closer to crime, and coverage was more graphic.
He had one of the longest perp walks in perp walk history. I mean, it was like a parade. It was still the old days as far as the relations between the press and the police were concerned. So the police were not as vigilant about keeping the press back. This is the body of Virginia Vascarici.
Thanks to a lower crime rate, there's less crime in the paper. The Post is now more serious and more fluffy. Subjects like alternative medical treatments and the latest designer lingerie bump up the pages and sell papers. But an increasingly competitive business section has pushed up readership as well. Still, the Post's intrepid band of scrappy street reporters and photographers fan out as night descends.
It's been very quiet because of the humidity. The heat that we've had the last 3 days keeps even the bad guys down. There's a good chance that they'll look to make up for lost time.
They called Sam Costanza Calamity Sam. He's been a news photographer for 10 years. Tonight he scans police and fire frequencies, waiting for something to explode. And like clockwork, it does.
This will be a prolonged operation, and no searches will be conducted, Kate.
We're going to 90th Street and the East River. There's a museum there, and I believe that it's on fire.
For Costanza, anything will do, even a smoky fire in an abandoned museum.
Now, there's one thing you must remember. When the fire's on the top floor, it's not going to go much further. We look forward to fires being on the first floor of a 6-story multiple dwelling, because fire goes up. I mean, it's a rather macabre way to look at things, but it doesn't have much potential. How you feeling, all right? What's the boathouse? The boathouse is gone.
There will be no people jumping out of windows tonight, but Costanza's adrenaline still kicks in.
Hi, Lou. Any chance of getting over to get any pictures from the New York Post? You got any press things set up? This was going real nice. Apart from a riot situation, large fires are probably the most exciting because they're lengthy. You can see it right now. They're hitting it from the marine boat. What makes this the shot is we have the firefighters with their backs to us, and we have the sign which describes what this is.
The fire burns, and the city is sweltering under a blanket of oppressive heat.
Let's see if we can find ourselves a body, a good crime scene, a good shooting or a stabbing, where there's a body still on the scene. Round off the evening.
It's game day. New Yorkers brace for a make-or-break game of Knicks basketball at Madison Square Garden.
Moscone, pick up your phone.
Some news, like the mayor's scheduled press conference, can be planned for, and reporters are assigned. Other news cannot.
1025-921, 1025-5921.
New York is a city of sparks, and that means things are likely to explode at any time. Marilyn Matlick is the Post's assignment editor.
Marilyn,
Miss Alona, 85, your house.
Hi, how you doing? So I could do reaction to today's, and then I can do a school that already went through that last year? Okay.
13 of New York's public schools have just been ordered closed by the school's chancellor for poor academic performance.
Can you get Montero back, please? And the idea would be to just talk to kids, parents, just find something within that from the student side.
I need to find a grammar school where they're not going to phase it and they're just going to shut the school down.
Doug Montero used to call himself a street rat, a beat reporter.
Because it's 120. Or si no, Jerome. Go ahead, Jerome.
Now, as a columnist, his job is to not only report the facts, but give his opinion as well.
Yeah, the Elizabeth Barrett, yeah. This is the funky thing about going to schools. You never know how the people are going to react to you, especially school officials. Hi. Is there a way to talk? Or could you let the principal know that I'm here? You're the principal? Oh, beautiful. Oh, Doug Montero. I'll write a column with the New York Post.
Photographer Bolivar Arellano covers the scene.
But how do I make arrangements to... Miss, are you a teacher here? Hello? Hello? Right now, we're like those drug dealers that have been standing on the corner for too long and the cops know about us. Well, right now we're hot. So we're gonna take a walk around the block. Are you a teacher here? Nope. Maintenance? Nope. Security? Visitor. Oh, yeah? Well, you heard they're shutting down the school? Just trying to figure out what would be the best move. What to do next. Let's try this other school. I'm going for the story. You know, I don't care if it falls on the liberal side, the conservative side, the communist side, the gay side, I don't care. I mean, the story's the story, and that's what I'm looking for.
We should get more on the school firings, more people being fired today.
The editors meet to lay out the day's paper.
They're also releasing the school closings. Montero is just hitting the various ones around the city. Dunleavy is writing on Summer of Sam and the whole issue of making this movie. And he's speaking to people that have been involved in this for a long time.
The next will be the same as it's been. I'm going to have it at 5 minutes to midnight. It'll be a quick job to get in the second edition.
I don't think I can bear it if they lose again.
No, because that's it. If they lose again.
What time does the game start?
9:18.
All
So it'll be just, provided it's not an overtime situation, it's going to be right on edition. I should call down there in a minute and see what our page size is. So.
The first papers hit the street at 4 a.m. The next game, slated to end after midnight, will have everyone in the press room working overtime.
You go to the school? They're going to close it down. I mean.
Really? Our school's long.
Wait, let me talk to him.
Just shut up.
How long you been here?
Me, 2 years.
Really? Okay, how old are you, sir?
I'm 14, I'm a senior, and I love this school. Because of this school, it pursued me to be a lawyer. I have a big mouth, and I used to be like an attitude problem, but now, she made me good English, I want to be a lawyer.
I still don't have a column. Keep going until the story's done. Yeah, I could eke something out, but I don't think it's, anything good. I just have to kind of keep poking. I could hump a story all day and not get anything until 6:30, which is a half an hour before deadline. So that's the way it works.
It's a hotbed for cheaters, one-night stands, and sex with hookers.
It's 2 p.m. Deadline approaching. So managing editor Stu Marques checks on his writers.
How are we doing?
Doing great. I'm in. How are you doing?
Okay.
His job, make sure the paper is crisp, clear, fun to read, and concise. The average Post reader spends less than 30 minutes reading the paper.
And we have 0 for now. There's 0.
So I kind of like that, but it needs to get squished a little bit, I think. Oh, I like it. It's different.
Doug Montero has finally found his column.
Are you upset because of the reason that they're using, or because they didn't provide the resources to make the school better, or why are you upset?
They don't care about the small children. They don't care about our feelings. They don't care about our kids' feelings.
Then you gotta understand that the District 7 is one of the poorest one. The same thing they could do in another school. They could put more money in the school.
Apparently the state was going to shut down these schools anyway, and the city administration, including the Chancellor Rudy Crew, knew that the state was going to move in and do it. However, for whatever reason, it's always better if the problem is taken care of locally as opposed to having the state do it. kind of like, you know, the mob kind of, you know, rubbing somebody out before the police department could come and arrest them. You know, let's handle it ourselves.
Did they put this in?
No, not yet, because I just come in.
Bolivar returns to the Post to develop, pick, and caption his photos.
Which school is this?
That is 140.
The negatives are scanned into the computer.
Ooh, he is very cyan. Look at him.
This is a car seat, bucket seats. It's actually very comfortable. You kind of have to write where you get a chance to write, or think where you have a chance to think. I'll probably spend more time trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to start the column than I'm going to do in writing the column.
Like the old days of the front page, notes are phoned into the rewrite desk.
I got Montero.
The city appointed a tough, comma, take charge woman named, and I'm going to spell it for you. Ready? There, you son of a... Lost him. We got to get another phone.
He's on a payphone. It's got like a carnival ride in the background. I can hardly hear a word he's saying.
These Bronx phones, I'm telling you.
No cell phones here, just a payphone.
You back? Yes.
At 2 other Bronx schools facing the axe.
He's gone again.
Okay. 85? Right.
Hey, boss, I got one of these wacky phones in the Bronx where I could dial 1-800, but I can only talk for 4 minutes.
Fandeweed. T-H-A-N-D-I-W-E. Okay. Talk to you tomorrow. All right.
Tonight, it's do or die for the Knicks. The Post will have 6 reporters at Madison Square Garden. For sports reporter Kevin Kernan, it's been a grueling season. Kernan has covered every game.
Good luck. It's not just about basketball and scoring points and who's a good guy, who's a bad guy. There's a lot of good human interest stories as well, and that's what reporting is.
Right before the final game of the season, Kernan talks to one of the Knicks' star players.
How you doing, Marcus?
Great, Cal. What's going on, babe?
What do you think?
We got this one.
You got it?
I'm ready.
I know you are. No coffee. Where's the Dunkin' Donuts? Oh, okay.
In the newsroom set up in the basement of Madison Square Garden, Kernan and fellow reporters begin to file their stories.
Got to do 2 stories before the game, 2 during the game, and 2 after the game. So it's like writing 6 term papers in about 2 hours. Got a good quote from Marques talking about the team being in the finals next year. So that's a good build-around quote. What's happening, brother?
Pulse, brothers. What's going on, man?
It's been a grueling year. Today's the 65th straight day that I've worked. Can't wait for summer vacation.
It's the final game of the season at Madison Square Garden.
The Knicks are facing San Antonio. It's a sold-out crowd and tension is high.
Game 5 is coming up. The NBA Finals continue.
Sports, he's going to get fouled. They were trying to foul him. If he puts it up, it's a 4-point play.
Back at the paper, the press room staff knows that if the Knicks pull out a win, they'll have to stop the presses. While early editions won't have the final score, the bulk of tomorrow's papers are being held up, waiting for a Knicks victory to demand a new front page.
We only got about 30,000 to go. What's the score?
The Knicks are down by 1.
Joe, you gave me Wilbur's, right?
Yes. Haven't found one good Houston shot.
I marked them 1. They were marked 1.
Everyone watches the clock.
Call the guys and tell them not to reload their film here, okay?
At one point, they gotta make a real quick basket. When he changes the paper.
With seconds remaining, the game ends, but the Knicks have lost.
Oh, man.
And that was it. The Spurs celebration began.
The Knicks lost.
Oh.
So we won't have to put an ad on.
Just ended now, so.
Oh, all right.
Probably a lock up late.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Bring his head. Man, get that out of my face, man.
Patty, you proud of the job your teammates did? Patty, you proud of the job they did?
Leave me alone right now, man.
Okay. He had tears in his eyes.
In the locker room at the Garden, disappointed players confide to Kernan.
Regardless of what may go on in life, when you're a family, you're going to have tough times and difficult situations.
Before I ask this question, but since I can, what do you think the chances are of a repeat title for the Spurs?
I don't even want to talk about that right now.
Spurs.
And the final headline is written.
I would just say Spurs win championship, that's all. Well, we always have the Yankees.
It's been a long year. And the players will be in Cancun on Monday, and I'll be writing a draft advance.
Nothing's too low, nothing's too dirty, nothing's too scary, nothing's too dangerous, nothing's too base or bloody.
Reporter Marc Stamey is another Post legend.
I do disasters. I do airplane crashes, subway wrecks, train wrecks. I'll use anything that I have at my disposal to get close enough to get factual information into the story. Binoculars, night vision, the kind of light amplification equipment that allows you to see in the dark without being seen. I keep an inflatable outboard motorboat in the trunk of the car. Believe it or not, seaworthy. Actually, it'll take anything to get thrown at offshore. Boat in a suitcase.
Stamey doesn't mince words. He knows what it takes to make a Post story.
At the New York Post, there's no such thing as an attorney. It's a lawyer. There's no such thing as a physician. It's a doctor. There's no such thing as Nietzsche. There's no such thing as Sartre. There's no such thing as any of this stuff. It's like, if it fits in a bikini, it goes in the Post. Unless, of course, it's bleeding, and then it goes in the Post. Of course, if it's bleeding in a bikini, then it makes first page. New York.
As night descends, the 6th day of 100-degree heat proves too much, and parts of New York find themselves faced with a frightening flashback to 1977. Once again, the power is out.
Just in case there's a riot, they want to be prepared.
Washington Heights, a predominantly Hispanic neighborhood on the northern tip of Manhattan, is totally without power.
New York, no lights. You can't step to me with no rights.
Stamey is dispatched to cover the crisis.
I'll be back. I'm just going to make a rounds. I'm with the Post. Can't answer anything. I understand. They're unable to talk to us. They'll get in trouble. It's called an unauthorized press conference. They can get fired for it.
Stamey is in his element. In a blackout, anything could happen.
Listen, I'm going to just keep an eye on things. If you need me, if something happens, you see it's unjust, or the people should know about it in New York. There's my card. I mean, before there was 1 or 2 lights on in some of the buildings, but at this point, nothing. This looks like it has potential. It's just mostly kids playing. It has the potential to turn into something other than fun. But I mean, they're not doing anything bad, but this is how it starts. Cops move in, shut it down. Somebody throws something from a roof. Let's go see what's going on down here. It sounds loud and chaotic, so. Hi, it's Stamey returning a page. Now I gotta get quick quotes? How about you give me just 1 or 2 sentences about how this affected exactly you tonight?
The food is all going bad and stuff.
The
like
food
that.
going bad. How is this different than a normal night in New York?
I'm suffocating. I've never noticed the stars. I never noticed the stars in New York City, and for the first time in my whole life,
I never noticed stars.
Stamey, with the nose trained for disaster, thinks he smells one brewing.
I'm on Sherwood and Elwood. Got looting. People breaking into stores. Now they're prying open the steel burglar grate on the outside of a bodega or some kind of variety store. I think I should stick around up here. Just instinct says that hitting the fan. Excuse me. I'm a reporter. I'm not a cop. Can you just tell me, just for the paper, and I won't use your name or anything, you can tell me about going in the store.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Nobody wanted to say anything?
Stamey wants to connect with real people to find out what's going on. He's curious, friendly, but determined.
I'm not a cop. I'm not on the force of evil here. I mean, it's a sensitive question, but I mean, it's just a bodega. I mean, what, people need food or?
Yeah.
What's going on? It's hard because I don't want to mind somebody's business. I'm not going to say anything, get anybody in trouble, but just tell me what's happened. They broke in this store, they took money?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of money? Listen, if anything else was to go on, where would I go to talk to people that were doing things? Dykeman. It's up on Dykeman? That's where my car is. Okay, this one woman said, quote, Everybody's afraid. Said a lot of boys broke into the store. They took a lot of money. They took everything. Said, I'm afraid. I don't like this. The owner is a friend of mine. Period, close quote. Well, that's a story.
There were lots of ways to play this story. Police presence was swift and dramatic. Looting and criminal activity, while evident at night, didn't make the police crime blotters. By the next morning, the headline would give Mayor Rudy Giuliani a soapbox to take on the city's electric utility. Con Edison.
You know, this is the way I feel. If this would have happened downtown, they would have had like the lights like this. Giuliani, they got to kill that.
Oh, wait a minute.
They got to kill Giuliani. I don't care.
Well, wait.
Freedom of speech.
Wait. Freedom of speech. I'll send it in the way you say it. The boss.
As is often the case with Post coverage, we are reminded that the Post likes Giuliani, and blackout coverage fades into history as a new day begins. Saturday, maybe the Post's toughest day. For a paper that thrives on action, events, controversy, and conflict, Saturdays have little to offer.
Good job, thank you.
So the Post makes some controversy of its own. Today, a photo shoot on a landmark Manhattan roof deck puts young lovers at the foot of the Empire State Building.
Put your arms up. There we go. Rob, come a little more forward with your face. There we go.
The Post will use this photograph to illustrate a brand new survey of the sexual tastes of New Yorkers, a survey commissioned by the Post.
First day we'll have the main
story,
the overall, what the poll showed.
How would you rate your sex life? Excellent, good, fair, or poor?
Right. Day two we have the sexiest borough. Well, when did you last have sex? You want to do frequency of sex?
Oh,
So it should be
single scene.
safe sex would be interesting, and one night stands.
Twice a week. It's 54%.
Right. Compared to, look at Manhattan.
The statistics that we found for Staten Island are so different from any other borough. What's the least desirable trait in a potential sex partner? Every other borough said selfishness, but for Staten Island, the worst thing a sex partner could be is overweight. They're the least likely to have safe sex. They're the most likely to have one-night stands. Oh, and they're the biggest cheats, too.
Across town, New Yorkers' tastes are being tested in a more gluttonous way as feature reporter Gersh Kuntzman ventures out to the annual Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest at Coney Island. Kuntzman has no illusions about what he is doing.
But it is difficult as a journalist to be here in the presence of so many of hot dog eating greatest gustatory gladiators and maintain that objectivity. It's kind of difficult.
This year's competition will be an event not to be missed, with reigning American champion and Brooklyn native, Hungry Charles Hardy, set to go head-to-head with Hirofumi Nakajima of Japan.
Sometimes I need to talk to myself and say, hey, just, calm down. This is still just a story, because you forget that.
Remember, it's the weekend.
Everything else is pretty much package stuff. We got our Sex in the City pack. We've got our Jumper story. We've got our Summer of Sam package. Dead dog in Stony Point. Cops blow away a retriever.
So we're going to get the guy, and he's got pictures of the dog and stuff, so we'll have all that.
VMI dismisses the top cadet over demanding sex from freshman women.
Was there another rape attack last night?
Managing editor Marc Kalech began working at the Post as a copy boy 30 years ago.
My uncle was a fairly famous racing handicapper who had a column in the Post where he picked the horses, and he got me the job, and he said that I had to promise him one thing. Page 7 is Kosovo, page 8 is Gore and the rest of the political package. He said, promise me you won't make this your career. Page 9 is Die and the transit story, but that might change. You'll never get rich, you'll always work bad hours, and you're going to fall in love with it. And he was absolutely right on all 3 counts. Page 6 is now page 10. The Son of Sam package is 12, 13, 14, 15. 20 is the Rabid Dog. 22 is the Millennium. 23, Uri. 24, Vodka. And 25 is for everything else. So let's stuff this turkey. Do I want to see the proofs? Yeah. Well, I think that works a lot better. There's your photo credit. Why don't you put it in now? I want it pushed up a little bit, okay? What do you think, Raj?
Oh, it's good. I just think you should be able to see her ass.
Okay.
What's up, Mark?
I should have reacted to this sooner. It needs the movie pick. something here to peg it to the movie. Because the only reason we're doing this is because the movie's good.
So you got to put in the lead. And
Yeah, it's wonderful. I like the idea of putting a logo in there. Dennis gave you that?
Yeah.
I can't believe you blindfolded the poor sheep.
Oh.
Hot dog, watch them read 'em all. Hot dogs, straight with soda pop.
Well, as you can see by the crowds here, I mean, it's unbelievable. The 82nd annual Nathan's Hot Dog Championships. Now, just tell me what you think of Hirofumi Nakajima as a champion.
Charles Hardy.
I think he's a graceful champion.
A graceful champion.
The guy is unbelievable.
I made
He weighs like 140
How
pounds.
did you know? There was a theory that he had two stomachs.
His human is the man unit.
3, 2, 1,
A 12-minute all you flip on. 3, 2, 1. That's it. Put down the hot dog.
What happened, man? What happened? Yeah, it's Gersh. Is that Myron? Myron, I have news for you that could change mankind and certainly our paper tomorrow. Steve, we call him Ralph Kiner, beats Hirofumi Nakajima and Hungry Charles Hardy by quarter dog to win the Mustard Yellow International belt, bringing the belt back to America. If that isn't worthy of a award, I don't know what is.
Hey, young man. Milty, watch the clock.
It's crunch time. The job of making everything fit, designing pages, goes to the paginators. Editors review and revise every decision before the paper is electronically sent to the press.
So something from sports, something from television, and I got space for one more.
Marc Kalech continues his rounds and puts pressure on his team to make deadline.
Tommy.
I've already heard a growling from pagination. It's not your fault. It's just that there's a lot of outstanding pages. Tom is behind, sports is behind. Anything you do to help them out.
Mickey, did you give me other proofs on the chart? Picture, caption, head, and type.
You all right?
Behind.
Behind, yeah. Everybody's behind.
Right now, you still you need 3 more inches. Go with her picture like this.
Yeah, okay, fine.
You free?
Well, that looks fine.
Yeah. That's the dog.
All right, that's the news. I'm out of here.
And so another Sunday paper is put to bed.
Thanks, everyone.
Full of Staten Island sex and Coney Island hot dogs, and of course, a whack at Hillary Clinton. Sex, food, and politics. A perfect New York Post.
For 50 cents, you get a nice portable package of software that you can carry with you, that's totally portable and is disposable. That's a pretty good bargain in today's economy.